Well, I'm Megan Lacosse. I live in Minnesota, south of Minneapolis. And I grew up as like a dancer, cheerleader background. I didn't start working out like in a gym. I didn't get my gym membership until I was maybe like 24. And that was more of just like, I just went to the gym because my friends went to the gym. And then, so that was like outside of college. So I never went to the gym in college. I was just a cheerleader in college, competitively. But I never ate healthy, worked out. The biggest workout I would do when I was in cheerleading and dance was maybe like a booty pump, like body weight workouts, back in like 2009 to like 2000, like 13. It was all about like being as small as possible, at least for us girls. And we just didn't go to the gym. That just wasn't a thing back then. So I got out of college and realized I still wanted like an outlet to stay active. And I did NFL cheerleading for 1 year. I was on the practice team for the Minnesota Vikings. Did that for 1 year. And one of the girls, she was into bodybuilding and she was like, you should try a show. And this is like in 2018. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it's kind of glam. Like you get to wear a sparkly suit. The girls are all like super gorgeous on stage. I love doing anything on a stage. And so I basically prepped myself. I had a personal trainer at the time doing group fitness. But other than that, I just kind of got shredded. And won like my first novice show in 2018 for a small show in Minnesota and fell in love with it. Um, Basically between 2018 and 2021, I just kind of worked out casually. I didn't really like follow a nutrition plan or anything, which I wish I did. And then met my coach, Christy and Sandy, who is my current coach in 2021, asked her to get me ready for a bodybuilding show for fun. And she said to me, I can make you pro. And I was like, sure, sure, you can. I was like, maybe I just want to do this for fun. And then fast forward 3 years later, 2024, I got my pro card. So I think once I finished cheerleading with the Vikings, I realized I liked the fitness side of working towards a goal. And I loved cheerleading. It was a great time for me. However, I liked having something a little bit more detailed. And I liked that it was very individual. So I went to a random personal trainer at the gym I was at, and I was like, hey, like, how do I lose body fat for a bodybuilding show? And he just gave me like a cookie cutter, like tilapia, rice, and you know um meal plan, and I followed that stuff to a T. I think I prepped for maybe like 10 weeks or something like that. It was like around like 2 months, and I got absolutely shredded my first bodybuilding show. And the funny thing is I loved it. Like looking back, I'm like, that was so bad. Like I probably was eating maybe like 1,000 calories a day and doing like 5 HIIT classes like a week, 5 or 6. And then I just remember show day. I did like 2 shows in like 2 week span. And I just thought it was the coolest thing, like the way your body transformed. I just loved eating the same thing every day. Um, and Yeah, won both those shows in novice and open, and I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. And I think I bought a suit that was like hand me down, and then I added some new crystals on there. There's one Miss Olympia at the time, if you recognize the name, Janet Lew.
Mhm.
She was someone I saw on like Instagram or Facebook or something, and I was like, wow, I want to look like that someday. Like that is like the coolest physique I've ever seen. I want to look like that. She commented on my picture on Instagram and I lost it. So ever since then I was like, okay, I think this is my sport.
You really enjoyed that kind of like tilapia and rice kind of like just the what is it, the structure of it? Was it the this thing is giving me like a purpose, or what was it that really drew you to the almost in some ways like the monotony of it?
Especially when I was cheering for the NFL. I was a backup and I still had to show up to all the practices, all the appearances that they would allow. And I liked the fact that I had a daily structure and something outside of my career. And at that time, I wasn't really into my career and I wasn't really into fitness. So I just needed an outlet for me to like dial in on what I really enjoyed. And at the time, cheerleading wasn't really getting it, but for some reason, working out was. And someone told me, they're like, well, if you follow this meal plan, you are going to look shredded. And I was like, I want to look shredded. So that's what I did. And I just followed it to a T and it worked. Unfortunately, I didn't reverse out of it. I didn't understand the reverse side of dieting. So I really struggled with that. But now obviously I have a coach. So I have someone to like get educated on for nutrition wise. But I think it was just like one of those turning points in at least when I was like, I think it was 28 at the time.
Are you a personal trainer, online fitness coach, or gym owner on the verge of burnout? Are you wanting to grow your fitness business but can't add more hours to your hectic schedule? Introducing Trainer Revenue Multiplier, the premier wealth creation system for fitness professionals that helps you earn more and work less. Visit www.trainerrevenuemultiplier.com today to schedule your free business accelerator session. If you're serious about taking your business to the next level, schedule your call today.
And I was like, I just need some sort of outlet so that I can like have something beyond my career. I think I was teaching. I used to teach kindergarten and middle school. And I was genuinely not happy in that career. So I think when I found bodybuilding, I was like, okay, maybe I can somehow make this into a job, but I didn't know how. So I stuck it out through my teaching career for a little bit longer, up until like 2020, and I quit right before the quarantine shut down. Thank goodness.
Wow.
And started my own, basically from 2020 and on, started my own personal training online business. Started working in gyms, started personal training, started teaching group fitness, just trying to get in the world. Um, because I just realized that I wasn't happy as a teacher or teaching kindergarten. And for some reason, that structure, that meal plan, having like a goal date just kept me calm, collected, and I don't know, I had a purpose. Does that make sense?
Initially, what was your like internal feedback when you did get into it?
Um, I knew right away after doing my first show in 2018 that I loved having a show date. However, I needed a coach. So I never actively looked for a coach up until I saw there was this team all over social media called Fit Body Fusion. And I reached out to a girl and asked her how she liked it. And I liked having the idea of a team because I, have a dancing background, cheerleading background. A team sounds good. Just, connect with other bodybuilders. Minnesota really doesn't have a strong bodybuilding community, and it is there is people who do bodybuilding, but it's very, very small. Like literally everyone knows anyone. I think I know every single IFBB pro in Minnesota. There's not very many. So when I heard about Christine Sandy, she started coaching online. I was like, oh, and she's part of Fit Body Fusion. I was like, I think I met her at a show. I think I'm going to interview with her. We clicked right away, and I've been with her since 2021, and it's been a match made in heaven.
For you, is that something that ever, like getting into it, you ever thought like, oh man, I got to, in a sense, like, I got to bring my A game because I'm not going to be just another face in the crowd. Like people are going to remember me here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, all bodybuilders, we're all vain. We're all so full of ourselves. So you get us all in one room together. It's just we're just fireworks, which I love. I like keeping a positive mindset. And one thing I realized when I was teaching kindergarten was I was surrounded by women, mostly women. There's a few male teachers in the school, but everyone was so miserable or exhausted, or they just had genuinely really unhealthy lifestyles. But when I came to work, I'd be like, oh, just got done with my cardio, or I'd have my chicken and rice with me. I'd be eating, 5, 6 meals during during the day or during class, and I would just get like the most negative energy from my other co-teachers. And I was like, I cannot continue this way. I liked teaching at the time. It was fun, but I realized that I needed to be in a world where you are surrounded by other positive people and other people that wanted to genuinely take care of themselves. And if you're considering of changing your career because of the people around you, seriously, just do it. Even if like you might not have 100% of the skills, like back then, I barely got done with my personal training certification. I got it done in the 2020 lockdown. I just went online and did the NASM, like, personal training online and the nutrition. I didn't know anything. Like, just because I have a certificate doesn't mean anything. So, and I was like, well, I guess I'm going to start a business and start working at a gym and started working at a front desk. And hopefully I'll be surrounded by people I like.
Was that a scary thought to you, or was it just like, this is something I have to do, so I'm not even going to worry? Like, I'm not even like over here, it's comfortable, but it's like it's uncomfortable because of the mindset. But over here, it's like I don't really know. It's not comfortable because I don't know what to expect, but it's like it's more exciting than it is fearful. How was it for you when you got into that,
Yeah.
fitness as an
I
industry?
I think when you like when you're in your late 20s, I feel like everyone goes through like a crisis. Like if you're not happy in your career, you do have the choice to change it. So I quit teaching like right before shutdown, thank goodness. And someone was like, "Well, Megan, you like working out and eating healthy. Why don't you just work at a gym?" And I was like, "But I'm not gonna make enough money." Blah, blah, blah. They're like, "You'll figure it out. It'll be fine." And I was like, "Okay." Um, Mentally it was absolutely necessary. Also, when I was teaching, I was struggling a lot with drinking too much. I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic, but I was really, really close. Like, I mean, when you're in your 20s, you just drink a lot. You're out partying with friends, whatever. But it got to a point where I would abuse alcohol to try and get away from the stress, or come home and I would just immediately make a drink to like end the night, and that really took a toll on my mental health, physical health. And for some reason, bodybuilding forced me to get out of that mindset and those habits. Cause I mean, you can't drink alcohol and build muscle at the same time. Sorry. But like, if you're actually serious about building your body, you can't be drinking every night. And I still teach, I guess. I guess I'm more of like teaching like exercises, or like, personal training is still a level of teaching.
Mhm.
It kind of forces you to rewire your brain to handle things that are really tough. I always think like, if I can handle a room full of kindergartners, I can handle the gym. That's how I think of it as well. I think there's a shift going on, and maybe I just noticed this in the last year or two, and maybe it's because of COVID, because everyone was locked down. We had nothing to do other than like drink, and I'm pretty sure that was like my lowest point was 2020. I didn't have my job, or I didn't have a job. I couldn't work in the gym or anything. Um, and so I just drank. Literally, I think my husband worked at home. So he was obviously had a job, but I didn't have a job. And so I just drank all day. Like, and I'm not saying I'm sober, but it definitely got me so deep into a mental hole that I realized I'm like, Megan, you cannot keep doing this and expect to become a pro bodybuilder if that's something you want to do going forward.
Are you a personal trainer who wants to scale and grow your business online? Have you been coaching online for years, yet don't know how to incorporate online into your current business model? Introducing Trainer Revenue Multiplier, the premier wealth creation system for fitness professionals that helps you earn more and work less. Visit www.trainerrevenuemultiplier.com today to schedule your free business accelerator session. If you're serious about taking your business to the next level, schedule your call today.
I'm not saying that alcohol should be like out of your life completely. However, if you are very serious about either living longer and stronger, or generally would like to maintain your muscle mass or build muscle mass, alcohol needs to be limited, if not at all. And I figured that out very quickly the second I went into my first prep in 2021, that all of a sudden I was feeling amazing. I had such a positive mindset. Um, my physique transformed. Like I've always been active, like a dancer's out body, but wow. And I just kept winning shows. So I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna keep alcohol on the back burner for now. My husband and I, we love wine. I will never give up wine. Sorry, but I think every time I do a show, people are like, "What do you want to eat, Megan? What do you want to eat? Like, are you so excited?" I'm like, I don't care what I eat. Give me a steak and a really good glass of wine, and that's still to this day my go-to post-show meal. So if there's anyone that is getting into the world and they're really struggling with their nutrition, honestly, I think the easiest thing to take out is alcohol, and then most likely your body's going to respond really well. Say if I'm working with a client and she asks, "Oh, hey, like, can I go out with my friends and get drinks?" And say their goal was to build muscle. I put my foot down as their coach. I'm like, I'm gonna be very honest with you. All the workouts you did this week and the week before, you go out and you have more than one drink, all that progress is stalled. And she'll be like, I'll just get something low calorie. I'll just get like a tequila soda. I'm like, that's fine. You can do that, but you're not going to make progress for the next 2 weeks. It's going to take at least 4 days for your body to process whatever 2 ounces of alcohol you have in your body, at least. And then from there, you're probably not going to recover very well. And then from there, you're probably be over on calories. And that's going to throw off your progress definitely for the week. And so therefore, you're going to be behind for another week to try and catch up. So I kind of give them that choice. However, if you genuinely want to improve your lifestyle to be more healthy, it really comes down to that mindset. So if you know in your mind that you're getting done with work and you just need to like escape, maybe escaping with alcohol isn't going to be the wisest choice because it's also going to put your body in that stressed state later. You might feel temporarily relaxed. You know, I love being wine drunk. Okay. I just get super happy and calm and I love talking about wine. I love everything about wine. I love going to places that have wine. However, I will never try to fit it in if I am prepping for a show or if I'm really getting serious on building up some muscle. So I give my clients that choice. I don't think everyone needs to be like on a bodybuilder style diet. I think everything in moderation, but alcohol is definitely one of the easier things you can pull out to improve your physique. So one of the things that my husband and I like to do instead of doing like a nightly cocktail, is that we do a sleepy cocktail. Have you ever heard of those?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. And there's all kinds of natural ways that you can do sleepy cocktails. Most of ours is just a magnesium with a little bit of stevia. We'll do some like maybe a little bit of fruit juice in there to make it like fruity, but we do that every night and knocks him out. And then it's just kind of gives us that habit without the alcohol. And you also do get like that calming sensation from the magnesium.
I've always feared, well, what if I don't want to like buy this anymore? What if I don't want to engage in this?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like psychological where it's like, oh man, I wish I had that. I need that. Or
It's the
uh,
worst when you find like a product that you love and it's like super expensive or something like that. And you're like, why? And it's like, you have to eat. That's how I feel about greens. So, you know, everyone's really loves those powdered greens because they think that's it's gonna help me de-bloat, whatever. Um, I generally think it's just a marketing tactic for people just to buy more crap. Um, so I kind of get what you mean. That you're like, if I really like this, then I'm gonna have to do this every day. I'm gonna be very honest. I am cheap. I am a cheap bodybuilder. I will spend my money on my body. When it comes to grocery shopping, I am a bargain girl. Ooh, and I will do whatever I can to make my meals as cheap as possible. So those not that $90 greens, no.
yeah.
So I don't eat protein bars. I don't eat like protein powders. My husband loves those, but I don't eat them because I'm like, I'm not spending all this money for high calorie processed crap.
Mm-hmm.
Like just give me a steak. I'm not against any of that kind of stuff. It's a supplement. Like obviously, like if you need to get in an extra serving of protein through the day, absolutely. Or if you really love having a sweet treat like candy bar or something during the day, like grab a protein bar. It's not the end of the world. However, I am just a little bit of a psycho when it comes to my own food and my own meals, only because I realized over time doing multiple preps, multiple reverse diets on what works well for my body and what responds well. And what responds doesn't well is processed foods and like bars and shakes. So I just keep those out. I mean, I go through it now. Like I get sick of certain meals. And then I'm like, okay, Megan, you right now, my thing is I just love salads right now. It's just maybe because it's hot as balls in Minnesota right now and I'm not used to it. And all I want is like every single vegetable on the planet. So I've just been like making all kinds of concoctions of different kinds of salads, different textures. I'm also dairy free, so I have to get really creative on how to make different like cheesy substitutes. And you would want that for yourself so that you can either teach it to your kids or teach it to your spouse, and kind of carry on that healthy lifestyle. Some people are all foodies, like my coach is a foodie, she just loves food. Um, I don't care. I do like food. That like you know what I mean? Like I like going out to eat with my husband and making memories and I like traveling and having different kinds of food. Um, but in general, I don't care. People are like, "Oh, aren't you so excited to eat, Megan?" I'm like, "No, I'm excited to win." It's definitely like that in contest prep. Like I'm in like a reverse diet right now. I'm just taking the off season for the rest of the year, and it's just nice to like go out to dinner with my husband once a week. Oh my gosh, just it's just nice to have a meal that I didn't make myself. And he enjoys it too. But for the most part, I eat virtually the exact same meals as I am in prep, just in more quantities. So if you can disconnect your emotion to the food, you're more likely to stick to your either macros or meal plan. However, I don't think anyone should feel like some foods are good, some foods are bad. Um, it really does take practice to find what you like.
Mhm.
Um, I realize I don't really like tilapia. It's okay. I'll eat it if I have to, but it's not something I'm like really interested in. I like chicken. I will eat chicken all day, every day. Don't care. And I like eggs. And I'll have occasional steak, maybe like once a week, if that. Um, I don't really care about like yogurts or, like protein shakes. Like I just don't care. Just
Mhm.
stick with the same stuff. Calories are slowly going higher. And then I have one free meal a week with my husband. And I promise you, anyone who's in the bikini division, so I'm in women's, so I don't have to get super, super shredded to do well in my division. However, there is a certain aesthetic I have to maintain. So now that I'm an IFBB Pro, I'm hoping that I don't have to go into such a deep off season because I already have a general build that the IFBB is looking for. So I would like to maintain a certain look throughout the year and then prep again. So I'm still following my macros right now. I still like to have a meal out with my husband once a week, but for the most part, I keep it dialed in.
Is that something that becoming a pro athlete, is that something that you had your eye on, or like when you met your coach was like, "Oh man, I'm going to turn you into a pro." Is that, and then now that you are, I mean, is it something that's like, "Oh, I gotta, now that I am, I guess this is just like the path," or like, are you still thinking like, "Well, what's the, what is my future in it?"
Let's just say when I first met my coach in 2021, she was like, I can make you go pro. And I was like, haha, like jokingly, I'm like, I was like, whatever. Like, I just want to do this for fun. Like, I just love like getting all like shredded and I love working out. I love eating healthy. Like, I was like, I just want to do this for fun. And then I just kept winning and winning and winning all these local shows. And I did one national show in 2021, which I should have not been there. I was way too small and I had not enough muscle. However, it kind of opened my eyes to the level of muscularity and the athletes that were showing up and winning pro cards. And I was like, and this was at USA's 2021. And I was like, I want to look like that. Like I would see all the winners or like the overall winner. I was like, wow, I want to look like that. And that kind of like planted a seed in my heart. And then my coach just kept pushing me and I stayed with her for another year and we competed a little bit more and I wasn't really making much progress and I was like, hey, like let's really try, like let's really try for a pro card in 2024 and how do we get there? And she's like, okay, Megan, like we got to go into off season, you need to start eating and you need to train hard. So I basically focused on between 2022 and 2024. I just went super ham on the food. I ate over probably a little over 3,100 calories a day. And I'm 5'4". Like I am small. 3,000 calories of whole foods in one small body is a lot, at least for me. So we were pushing calories and we were pushing weight in the gym. I grew my glutes, my shoulders. Overall physique just blew up in 2 years because I was like, I followed those macros. I checked in with my coach every single week. And she's like, okay, come like January 2024. She's like, okay, we're gonna start prep. I was like, okay, here we go. And we had a plan on doing the national circuit. I did one show this year in Florida. It was called The Clash. Coach was like, hey, like if you do well at the Clash, you're gonna get recognized and we're gonna go for that first national show. I won the Clash, had no expectation. I walked into that show and I was like, I hope I get at least second place. Won the whole show. And then we just prepped into junior USAs and I got second overall there. My only feedback was that they're like, just come in a touch leaner. And it's been such a good year. That was probably the best prep of my life. Obviously, it was the best competition season of my life because I won. And so I honestly want to give a big thank you to my coach for paving the way and actually setting that expectation and holding me accountable and really believing in me too. Because back then I was like, I don't believe it. There's no way. Like, there's no way I can go pro. Like, I don't look like these girls. I was like, I love the gym, but I don't look like them. So having someone like your coach believe in you to a point where you don't believe in yourself is like a major factor.
Is that to where you now start to view yourself like that, where it's like, okay, I am a pro. I see myself like that.
I've been struggling with that for the past like month, honestly. Because they say once you get your pro card and you're in the IFBB, especially in the bikini division, they say your career stops or like you don't, you have to start at the bottom again. Personally, I don't think of it as that way because I feel like I'm a small fish in a very big pond. Whereas in Minnesota and all the shows I was doing, I felt like I was winning all these shows and I was competing against great athletes, but not to the caliber that I was hoping for. So I was happy that I was able to win my pro card at a very competitive show. And not only did I win my class, but I won the second overall. So I literally, out of like over 100 girls, I had one girl beat me, which I thought was unreal. Now that I'm in the IFBB, I kind of think of it as like, all right, it's like I'm starting over again. And I kind of like that. One thing I realized in the last couple of weeks, I need to have a carrot in front of me at the end of the stick for me to kind of strive for. And I've been really mentally struggling on finding what that carrot is because I'm kind of like in an off season. I don't really have a show set in day ahead. Like I don't have like any like, like really set goals other than like I gotta make sure that I reverse properly and, mentally I don't want to say mind fuck, but can I say that? Yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by Smoking Gun Coffee, a veteran-owned coffee company that strives to give back to those in need. Don't forget to use code TWR10 for a 10% discount at checkout.
Instead of spending like, most people go to college for 3-4 years, and at the very end, you get a degree. The last 3 years, I have been grinding to win a pro card, to try and get the physique of a pro. Once I got that pro card, obviously I was very proud of myself, but now I'm like, instead of a degree, I get a hot body. But now I'm like, okay, where do I go from here? Of course, I do want to compete in a pro show. I wanted to do one here in August. I wanted to do, actually, it was this Saturday. However, I pulled out. I just mentally wasn't ready, and my body was very, very tired. Mentally, I was tired. So I pulled out of the show, and hopefully I'll do one next year. But once you go pro, you kind of have like post-show blues. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Which I've never had. And it's super weird feeling because I'm like proud of myself, and I love working out. I love eating healthy, but all of a sudden I'm like, I don't have that carrot at the end of the stick. So where do we go from here? So I think some of the goals are more mental right now than it is like in the gym, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, do you feel that, because you're just turning pro, do you feel that like the Olympia is just this thing that may be so far away that it's hard to put it it's hard to really key in on putting that into focus because it may be so far away that's why it's not like that carrot for you?
I mean, yes, I do want to go to Olympia. There is I guess levels that you need to get there. Like very rarely does someone go pro and then all of a sudden they go to Olympia. I mean, there's a couple girls in mind that have done that in 1 year where they went pro, won a pro show, went to Olympia, got top 10 at Olympia, but that's very, very rare. So what I want to kind of dial in is just delivering feedback. I got some feedback from my national show. All I want to do is deliver that feedback and then get feedback as a pro. So that's probably the first goal I want to do is deliver feedback. And then from there, once I do my first pro show, it's all about how can I get first call outs? Okay. Once I hit first call outs, then how can I make top 5? Okay. Or top 10. Okay. Once I hit top 5 or top 10, okay, now I want to win a pro show or, top 2 or win a pro show. Olympia would be the dream come true. There's a few girls that have won this year that I look at their physique and I'm like, I could beat that. That sounds really like very confidently confident. But you kind of have to. Like all those women that are going to Olympia, there is never a time, at least from what I've heard, there's never a time where they don't believe in themselves. Or at least if they don't, they're able to see that within themselves because they are embodied by the Olympia mindset. So I think that's one thing I need to work on is start embodying that Olympia mindset so that I can allow myself to start winning those milestones.
It just shows that you have to be there mentally. You have to like both from like a vision perspective, you have to see yourself there, but you also have to like have that mindset and you have to put yourself in the position before you actually get there. So much of it is mental.
Everyone has the perfect genetics. So what is going to separate you from everyone that has perfect genetics? And it's especially difficult in bikini because the criteria is so subjective. Whereas like, men's bodybuilding is like who's ever the biggest wins, right? Not necessarily for bikini. So as I'm kind of waiting for this year's Olympia, I'm curious who's going to win or who's going to be in the top 5, because that's going to set the tone for the next year for me as a pro. When it comes down to who's got the best genetics, if you don't have your mindset in check, there's no way you are going to do well at Olympia. I see myself like hopefully getting there someday. That's the goal, right? Of course I'm gonna follow all the top Olympians. Like I love following them on Instagram. That's kind of my social media. It's interesting how bikini as a division has evolved even since I first started in 2018. So me as a pro, I just feel like I need to be like on top. Like it's not really political. Like however, you do need to know what the expectations are and what the criteria is from year to year. So the criteria from 3 years ago when I first started going for my pro card is way different than it is now. So that's why I'm still working with my coach. And she has a very reputable coach who I trust too. So I have a feeling that whoever is in the top 3 this year is going to set the tone.
It was the Arnold this year that had like the free live stream, and they maybe even did it the year before, but I think that would be cool just to like get more engagement and get more people involved in just watching it and seeing what it's all about and showcasing the sport and the athletes.
Yeah, that's becoming more of a thing. There's quite a few pro and amateur shows that are doing more of like an expo type of show rather than just a bodybuilding show, which I think is awesome. There's something about like the social media that's been blowing up bodybuilding, and I'm seeing this on TikTok and everyone is starting to like zero in on bodybuilding. And so, which is great for me as a coach. I'm like, awesome. Like you're bringing the clients. But what's nice to see is that these shows are now like elevating their quality, I guess, making it more of a experience and a I don't know, performance rather than like sit there for 12 hours and watch sweaty men flex. So I love seeing that these bodybuilding shows are getting bigger and bigger and more extravagant because it just makes it more fun for me because I love show day. I love the process even more. But the Arnold was kind of like the one that kind of was the trailblazer because
Yeah.
it has like the CrossFit games there. We have powerlifting. I think at one point they had arm wrestling. Like
Yeah. I think they have like over 300 different kind of sports there.
yeah, which I love. And women's bodybuilding, women's bikini, more specifically, is blowing up, which I'm like, yes, all right, women are taking over.
Really interesting stuff. I really appreciate you coming on. It was great getting to chat with you on, different, certainly some different topics and different levels of those, but I appreciate you coming on and sharing tonight.
Heck yeah, Dan. Well, we can always do it again. Nice chatting with you. Have a
Yeah.
great evening.
Yeah, you as well. I definitely would love to kind of continue to go into some of these topics with you in a future episode. But for now, if you want to, before we head out, if you want to share any socials or any ways people can connect with you, you can do that.
Yeah, you can just follow me on Instagram. It's just meganlacosse.ifbbpro. If you're interested in coaching at all, I do nutrition and custom programming. So you can just find that on my Instagram. Otherwise, yeah, send over some love.
If you're tired of searching for a coach or trainer, somebody who knows what they're talking about and has experience, make sure you go check out the new Coach's Corner on weightroompodcast.com. You can find quality, qualified coaches to help you achieve your goals, whether that's in bodybuilding or just general fitness. Stop wasting time and start achieving your goals today. The link to the Coach's Corner is down in the description below.